All right. Grand Rising, welcome back. We are still in Timothy, and since it's such a short book, we're just going to finish the whole thing, right? All right, so I feel like it has been giving me some insight. So, like the in present times, okay, or whatnot, okay? Um, keep kept by the Holy Spirit which dwelleth in us. Okay, so anyways, all right. So again, before I started this, I sat for a second and I pulled a couple of cards here. I kind of just went through the cards. I didn't. I kind of just shuffled the cards, right? And then kind of just the two cards that I had when I had my, they just really resonated. And then I took those, and then something said, take that, take that, take that, and take that. So I really didn't, let them pop out on their own like I normally do. But the first one was this, because I do feel like there is a shift, right? Right? So again, guardian angel card. We got the feather here, reminding me of fathers, right? Or forefathers, even in a sense. And I don't know, maybe this is representing the sun and the moon here. And then above the triangle is the eye, right? And then I don't know what kind of star this is, but that was the first one that popped out to me, right? And then this was the one that was on the bottom of the deck when I closed it off. But it kind of was tricky. It kind of triggered me, in a way. But I'm going to go ahead and share it anyway. Because, I think this is going to help me understand what's going on here. Because I see a sense of a little bit of, entanglement here. But, the apple kind of triggered me. And she got a serpent kind of thing around her arm, right? But it says the lady, right? Which is bringing me back to the garden energy of the woman, right? Because there was in that... when we start talking serpent, right? The Lord, or the Lord God, I think, Adam, even when it makes me think about the rib being removed, it's making me think about it, and just, because we're at the apple and we're talking about the craftiness and deceit. So I don't know, it's making me think about, again, someone being removed. Took a rib from Adam. I can always look at that just that one verse. I can always look at it in so many different ways, but I don't know, that's saying something to me. Because there's ribs in DNA. So could it be like somebody was taken from his house? You know what I'm saying? In a sense like that, and then formed or changed. Because I don't know, that's what the energy that I feel like I was getting in the chapter before this. So again, is that, someone that may look to seem like ousted, and in all actuality, they are being altered by the divine. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe someone else is being altered, again, by man. Because again, I keep seeing that whole energy of what is naturally supposed to happen, and then that which is happening because some people want to play God. That's just kind of like what I see, right? So she's got the apple. She ain't eat it, but she got it cut in half here. So I guess maybe that means something about like a crossroads or something like this. All right, so enjoy growth and reap the reward. Okay, and then I'll show the rest of them as we go on. But again, that one was the first one on the deck, and then the last one, when I put it down, so it kind of stood out to me. So again, this is 2 Timothy 3, and it says, I was trying to go live, y'all, but for some reason it won't let me. I just was sitting there looking stupid for like 5-10 minutes. It wasn't loading. So it says, this known also that In the last days, perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves. Okay, so again, we could take that in a different way. We can look at that and say that like a man is going to be only caring about his own self, but because they separated own and then selves. I don't know. It makes me think of their own self, like because I was just writing just a little while ago, and I was wondering why I was on that topic. Because it was kind of like personal, but then it wasn't. Like parts of it wasn't, right? And so, right? I don't know. Damn. Like I gotta be real. I don't know. Something just made me think about like divine feminines and masculine energy, right? And I don't know. Selfish, like this could even just be given off selfish energy. It could be meaning that men are gonna love themselves, and this is the thing that I'm concerned about when it comes to this new thing, if that's where we're headed. It's setting the record straight, and so it's kind of very interesting again when you see the agenda behind many things. Okay, nothing personal. We're talking about the narrative or the agenda that's being pushed to the masses. Okay. Because I have been hearing a lot of energy of this of energy of like people's sexuality, right, or their preference or whatever. And that's what's scary about an agenda, though, right? Because it's nothing for me. I'm not the one. I don't feel like I'm the one to judge what people do. Like I always tell you, unless it comes to harming children. But how can I word this? If that is agenda being pushed to the children, we can love everybody, right? But we can also we should be able to ask questions, and we should also say, hold on, that may be going too far. Because for me, I think talking about sex ed in school in general is not where they should be learning it. We see that it hasn't really done anything to help anything thus far. So, if anything, things is off the chain, right? So again, I feel like that's an inappropriate place and space for that type of talk. It should be up to the parents, and they should be able to describe it in a way, right? So again, and then lover of their own selves, maybe, because I was writing, like I said, what kind of bug is that? And it was something, I was writing like I don't know if it's a poem, story, something. I'm just writing something. I'm starting to notice this. And, it was about the whole energy between, men and women in the household, and like how people lover of them own selves. I think I was writing something about, like guys all wanting to hang with their guys, right? Playing like from basketball courts to PlayStation. Like, so it's not nothing personal. It's not nothing attack against those type of energies. I'm just saying. And then they end up spending time with their guys. And I said something like placation or something like that, right? When we're supposed to be bettering ourselves, building a nation, or something. It was something like that, right? And so it made me think about that. And then the woman actually, it was like telling a story about how like families are get divided over time or whatever. And then the woman and the things that she has to deal with that's unseen, right? And then how she wanna, figure out a way to be seen, noticed, or out and about, or do something, right? Because again, especially when it comes to women that have multiple children, at a young age. Not a young age, but little children. And I don't know. So I think that kind of children do bring something to the relationship of a dividing kind of factor. And I think some people are not prepared for that. But I don't know. It just seems like it's a very careless thing if somebody is leaving all the time doing those things and the woman is at home and she's expected to do these things at home or whatever when, again, this person is out doing these things and prefer to be with their friends. So it could just be something as simple as that. You know, it don't have to be any kind of thing about sexuality. It could be just that too, right? They rather hang out like that. Which then leads the girl to be at home and then she's calling out to her friends, and sometimes some of them are really foes and not friends, and then you see how it just, I don't know, it escalates, I feel, from there. But anyway, regardless of what, because in every relationship is going to be different, every situation is going to be different. But that's just what that made me think about. Maybe that's why I was doing something like that, all right? So it says, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Okay, without natural affection, truce breakers and false. So deal breakers and false accusers. Incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Okay, so again, let's see, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Okay, so yeah, so that was the King James Version. I thought it was different. It was interesting the way that the Living Bible is explaining it. So I'm going to read from the Living Bible, but I did want to read that small portion from the King James. So again, we're going to start again at 3 and 1. And it says, you may as well know this too, Timothy, that in the last days, it's going to be very difficult to be a Christian. Okay. And again, I don't like titles, but that's what, you know, okay. But then again, it makes a little bit of sense, a little bit, I guess, because it's a Christ. Why do I do it? There's 2 box elders on my window. Or stink bugs. Okay. So again, so Christian. So again, this makes me think about anti-Christ energy or something that is against the Christ energy, right? Because I guess maybe the way of Yeshua Christ, right? We said that that's the more of a soldier approach, the more of a warrior energy, the more of a, you know, that kind of energy. And then when we talk about Christ Jesus, it's more of a loving, kind energy. And then, you know, yeah. So again, if difficult to be a Christian, so are people going to find it difficult to be loving with each other? And that's what I'm saying, or just like even considerate, in a sense, rather than the religious aspect is how I'm seeing it, okay? And it says, for people will love only themselves. Right, okay, so like that Christ energy is like an open heart. You know, it's like a forever giving, nurturing, loving energy. But, I mean, I guess it would make sense if these things are going to be happening is because people are not going to be dealing with that kind of energy. Kind of like that zombie kind of energy like I was talking about, or just like soulless or just like vacant. And so it makes me wonder, you know what I'm saying, what is going on? Does it have something to do with the antidote? Does it have something to do with people not getting the antidote? You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about, okay? I'm just saying, because it would have to be something that occurred in those times. So again, it'll be difficult to even love your neighbor, right? So again, then that would be a commandment that's not being, right? Let's see. Yeah. So again, nobody want to really deal with that no more. It's like a walking away from that energy, I guess, right? And then, you know, to take in, and see, that's why I like the way this was going, this reading. Well, it's not a reading, but this scrying session or whatever, because it's almost like the official nail in the coffin to end the Christ energy, because it's too pure, it's too righteous in a sense. And so, you know, nobody wants that. You know, it's no fun. And then even for someone that's in Christ, maybe it'll be difficult for you because people keep doing stuff, and then you just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I give up. But okay, so it says people will love only themselves and their money. They will be proud and boastful, sneering at God, disobedient to their parents and ungrateful to them. So again, let's think about this parenting energy as well, as like when it comes to these secret conservatorships or these alliances that chiefs and chieftains may have, you know, even when it comes to like allies and things in the governing forces, you know what I'm saying? So we could be like parents, governors, see, like even governors are going against presidents, and the people are challenging the governors, and then who's they daddy? Who's like some of these people that's in our community? Who is they daddy? Are they gonna go like? Because this also gives me that energy. I have to just be straight, you know what I'm saying, non-biased. So again, could this be also like people that were connected to certain allies with certain groups or forces that are seeing things now clearly, and they're saying, oh, okay, now I see that I'm being used. Almost like the energy of a king and an ex and anybody else that people want to say were they wasn't real or whatever, or they were just puppets or whatever. Because again, I think all of us were at one point in time. But there's a time when you go through an awakening or an ascension, or you find out what your true purpose is. And sometimes we may think we're on it, but you may not be on it. And so it may be a little bit more work to do, a little more things to do, and then you can be like on that road. So, excuse me. And this is why I say about even, we'll just use king as a, how it was all about what he was saying at first, but then we came to the burning building portion, and the before the founding fathers, we were here. So again, that energy, okay, that energy is going to resonate with this, okay, because the feather, okay, so, okay, hold on. All right, so, right, and then closer to when he was taken, right, he was singing a different tune. And is that what really got him done in? Because was he like that Christ at that time? Because I think that this Christ energy this is not the first time. It's not no second coming like that. I feel like, again, there's been people that have come. It's just now we are the ones as like a collective that are the ones. We're not looking for one leader to look at anymore. Okay, or look to. You need to be finding it in yourself, in a sense, right? So, the man in the mirror kind of energy. And so, we're just on the journey together. Because some of us are more powerful and, beautiful than we think. And it's just like, so many challenges can make you start to question yourself and these things, what you think about yourself. And again, I can't allow that to happen. But then that'll come off as the people that are actually doing these haughty things and all these other things, these blasphemous things, are going to turn you into the villain. You see what I'm saying? So again, at some point in time, maybe society, higher up energy or governing forces accepted King when he said, I had a dream and we all going to be sitting together. And so they kept that in the curriculum in school forever, and we never even knew about any of the other deeper stuff that he was talking about, going back and get the checks and all this stuff like this that he was saying, at that time. Right before he passed. So again, we have to look at this in a dual nature. This is definitely a dual nature section, definitely, right? So we're gonna have to turn it on and off, like, okay. So again, it's like people are taking notice that certain people that are so-called minorities or indigenous or whatever are taking a stand and saying no more. Right? So then when it comes to man, he's going to be looking like, look, they're being like this. And then it'll cause a certain group of people to be fearful of this energy And it's really just like if somebody's been beat up for a long time, regardless if it's just through perception, mental things, physical, you know what I'm saying, they're going to stand up and fight at some point in time. So again, people could have just been doing right instead of trying to sneak and continue to deceive, right? And then it would have never happened that way. Same thing what I'm saying about Mother Earth and the energy that's here now, judging and cleansing herself. And so, yeah. So again, they will say, oh, look, these people, they want to separate, or these people, they want to start trouble because of this is the way they're thinking. And it's almost like, you know. And then we can be looking at a certain situations and say the same thing. And that's just it, right? Yeah. Okay. For people who love only themselves and their money, they will be proud and boastful. Okay. And again, so if you're speaking against your government in a sense, right, you're speaking against your father or your Lord. Right? And then the fathers or the lords or the governors or presidents and leaders are going to use their power and their whatever to contain or control the situation. And especially the boastfulness, could that just be people speaking out in passion, or people speaking out because they know that they have to? And then again, so then the people that have all the power can use that to try and it can go the other way around. But again, the whole sneering at God, that energy, like, oh, we're done with this. Like, we don't even want to hear no more about that shit. Even though we're seeing all of this stuff. Okay. And even the whole thing about going against good, calling good evil and evil good. It's about just like deception, right? So again, we know God, if you add another O, you have good there as well. Disobedient to their parents. Okay. So again, most times in church, we were growing up and we're thinking, oh, you know, children are going to be disobedient. But that has been forever. So we can't look at it that way. Do you get my drift? We cannot look at it that way. You cannot look at it like that anymore, because for how long have children been going against their parents? Ever. Since people have been having children, that has been happening. So then you have to look at it in a different light, right? Because you don't understand, we're talking about guardianships, we're talking about being a minority or a minor. That means somebody is your daddy. And it may be the one that presides, right? Because to beget someone, you can get them in many different ways by kidnapping and all kind of stuff. Like, right? Okay. So we're talking about this debt ceiling. We're talking about who's about to be taxed, who's not about to be taxed, middle class. You know what I'm saying? But again, we've already been talking a long time about when they eliminate the middle class, that's it. It's just going to be, all right? So again, the unruly children, you know, is that why those 7 children? Because again, they would kill the children if they were disobedient back then. But are they not telling you again what was going on, what the abuse that was going on, or the domestic terrorist energy that was going on in order to get the child to be disobedient? And really, at heart, they're really good children and good people, but they have been vilified and demonized. So again, I mean, and the same thing we can say, we might be looking at some of these leaders as if they are this, but some of them are showing their true feelings and they're showing their heart. I was looking at Florida in a sense, but I feel like he's really dealing with his heart, what he really feel. But again, people would look at him as being rebellious against the president. And again, what are we talking about here? Who wants us to chill? And what section, what part? Is it the people? Is it the power or the people? And what, like I'm just saying, all right? Okay. Ungrateful to them. So it's like, I'm doing all this and I'm doing all this. What do you want? But again, are you connecting? Is there miscommunication? Is everybody on the same page? Right? And again, is that on purpose? Is the disconnect there on purpose? Is the leaving some children out? You see what I'm saying? Could there be parents that's jealous of their children? And so they'll use their power while they're in those positions in order to, again, crucify their children that are supposed to be taking over because they're doing something that they didn't ever do. I mean, we know that that's just like even from every household, sometimes that can be the case. They will be hard-headed and never give in to others. And again, I just feel like I'm living right now and I'm seeing these things happening, and I see that needs to be a bridge of communication. You can't just talk at people. They will be constant liars and troublemakers and will think nothing of immorality. So again, of being immortal or not dying, or, right? They will be rough and cruel and sneer at those who try and be good or God. Something else I found interesting. Undying. Because again, there's this energy as if people think that they can perpetual life after death. Okay, so people thinking that they can kill you or lock you in some kind of tomb and cover you with dirt or under the rug, throw you under the rug, under the bridge, whatever these things, right? And that you're supposed to just lie there, right? And your spirit is supposed to die. And there's nothing you can do about it. We don't even want to, but again, that's that fighter energy. And then when people go into that reptilian, right? So fight or flight, right? Which again, why did that card come up? And I didn't take it. The shape shifting. I didn't take it. Let's see where it is. Because it stood out to me. It really did. The Heart Guardian. Okay, y'all. We're not going to do it. Just know that that's what happened. Right? So again, yeah. So they will betray their friends. They will be hot-headed. Puffed up with pride and prefer good times to worshiping God. They will go to church. So again, we already know, the asterisk is here for church. Okay, church literally means having a form of godliness. Set apart. Authority or power. Strong, powerful. Yeah. Yeah. One set who have their own beliefs and forms of worship. So again, that the house, right? Tribe, nation. A body of people who belong to a certain. So again, that's like, okay. So for me, it feels like anyways that within life, within everything, some of us that are just like, what is going on? But we already know what's coming, right? But it's like you talking about source in this time, then you steady still talking about it when we trying to do this over here, then that could be a problem for us. But really, they feel like they've taken everything that they can from God and that they can just hide God. And it's like almost the energy of come down and worship me and I'll give you these things. And it's just like, if I was in that energy, like automatically I would feel a God energy and be like, I know who I am. I can't, like my ancestors said no. Like the guides and angels are saying, I have a purpose too. And the fact that it's like hard to trust to step out with entities that have been trying to hide you the whole time. It's like, come on. It's not about to celebrate it. It's not about, of course, to me, I feel something about a legacy when you see somebody else taking your identity. But again, at the same time, it's like, it's not really about that. It's just like about, I know how it works when you guys want to do what you want to do. And so it's just like, who's not gonna die fighting? Won't be me. So again, that makes somebody look puffed up, but really they're fighting for their life. So you see what I'm saying? We can look at this in any way, those ways. Sounds kind of like somebody that's trying to get you to be submissive when it's a time to not be. And then also like to chill, right? But then again, it could be a reason why you have to chill. And for my reason, I feel like it's the whole energy of, those alliances that were made with those people that I'm talking about, trying to come in, you know what I'm saying, now that they have an opportunity, or if they're packing power, and now the Antichrist energy is here so that they can now crucify that Christ energy or God. Because at this time, they'll probably be sure, even though they don't want to admit it, they'll be sure about those energies or that energy. And so, okay. All right, so they'll go into this church or whatever, or the groups, like how we just said, right? All right. Yes, but they won't really believe anything they hear. Yeah. They won't believe anything that they hear. Don't be taken in by people like that. All right, y'all. I think it's getting good now. Hold on. I got to see why these cars came out. Hold on one second. We're going to stop here. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and join us in the Facebook group, American Apparitions Unchained. I'm going to stop the video at 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a part 2.